this is LA Joint here with Hot Talk Radio. Okay, so this is part 3 of the Lgbtqia Disney Ban, right? Okay, so this is part 3. So let's jump back, for a little second, and let's go back to the actual ban, right? So as I was stating in like part 1, I was just kind of like questioning, and just kind of bringing up the point of like, letting kids be kids. You know what I mean? And I say this as a non-parent because y'all love to jump down my throat about not being a parent. You know what I mean? As if I'm not gonna be one day. As if I haven't been a child before. As if I have not taken care of children and I are responsible for children when they are in my vicinity. Okay. But and I was just kind of saying like in part 1, I was like, I don't disagree with it. I don't disagree with it. I don't. And I was just saying like I didn't disagree with it because I don't know if it's okay to specifically target children with this type of content. And I say that, but you also have to understand, like, I don't watch that content. That's number 1. Number 2, I don't feel like it's a need for that type of content to be targeted toward children. Like, as I was discussing, I said, I know there's a lot of like LGBTQIA, books that have, children's books that have been released. And I thought that was pretty cool, because it does allow children to get to discover different lives and lifestyles, right? Because we are living in a time of liberalism. Because it having those types of children's books can help explain what they're seeing on the daily basis. It can help explain, what the heck adults are doing, because they just try to figure it out too, but it explains it on the child's level. You know what I mean? So for me personally, and understanding that, I think it's okay to have that type of content accessible somewhere, but I don't think as though it should be targeted toward children. But as I was speaking about the disparity, like, it's hard to just sit there and say like, don't target children, with LGBTQIA content, right? But then on the other hand, you have all this violence that is accessible. You have this sexual, they favorite like artists ain't got no clothes on, running around butt naked, talking about stuff that they little 7-year-old should not even be hearing. You know what I mean? Then you see people out and about, dressed in certain type of ways, and whatever. Now I know I sound like a grandma right now, but and it's really raises along the lines of like, where is the line? You know what I mean? Where is the line here? And to me, I feel like, in part 2, I started speaking about like what type of administration and what type of tomorrow we want to see. And no offense, but I honest to God feel like a lot of women are going to have to stick together in this time right now in order to guide where we want, our tomorrow to go. And I'm saying I'm leaving this up to women because we have a lot of males making decisions. Whether these males are gay or they are straight. We have a lot of males in the front making these decisions. You understand what I'm saying? And so a lot of us women are really gonna have to like get in the front seat, and we have to like really help them guide us in the right direction for our country until we can, until there comes our day when we can get in the driver's seat and really take it, to a different level. We have to really get our voices out there. We really have to start talking about this stuff in mass. We really have to start supporting one another so that we can make sure that we're heard. Because, and it's no, like I said, I'm not coming down on men because people swear to goodness I just be down men's throats. But in actuality, in all honesty, we have men on both sides of the spectrum, LGBTQIA and heterosexual, making a lot of these decisions. Meanwhile, we're having the children, we're taking care of them, we're responsible for them in masses, right? And everything that we do, heavily affects the children. It seems like a lot more intimately and a lot deeper than it does when the males do it, or you know what I mean? And I feel like, moving forward, we're gonna have to have a lot more female present. Whether you LGBTQIA, butch queen, whatever, I don't care. We need those female voices, okay? We need those female voices to make sure that we're guiding us on the right path, right? Because on both sides of the spectrum, we have males speaking on our behalf, regardless. Regardless of if they are feminine males or they're masculine males. Either way, they're speaking on our behalf. And I kind of feel like we as women, like mothers, future mothers, aunties, sisters, brothers, cousins, whatever, we really have to speak up on a lot of these topics. We really do. What do you want for your children? What are we fighting for our children? Because as I said in the first one, where I enjoyed being a child. Despite all the crazy stuff that I went through, I enjoyed being a child. I enjoyed discovering life as I got older. I didn't feel like I needed to figure life out at the age of 7. I did not feel like that. You know what I mean? My gay and bisexual influences growing up mostly were males, but I loved them all the time. You know what I'm saying? I didn't question it. I mean, it was speculation, but it was also none of my business. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't bother me one way or another as a child. But that's me. Because I didn't want to grow up and be like them. So it might be different from a child that may be struggling with it. You know what I'm saying? So they may have a different point of view. But I just enjoyed being a child. And I feel like a lot of the stuff that we do, say, feel, whatever, and it's coming from me. Where is the line when it comes to children? And where is the line as women do we draw with these men? Because on both sides of the spectrum, they making the decisions, gay or straight. Both sides, they making the decisions. No offense, but a lot of the LGBTQIA content that I mentioned, if I'm not mistaken, males. I know most of the content that I know about males wrote. You know, and most of the or like a lot of fashion houses, males. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of industry pressure. You know, when it comes to how women should look, how they should dress, when it comes to them being sexualized, males are making these decisions. You know, also males are pushing the agenda. You know, on the other side as a consumer. You know, so as women, we really have to help guide this. You know, where do we want to see our tomorrow? Because I know right now a lot of us are being silenced and housewived and side chicked right now. So we're being silenced in a lot of different ways, you know. But if we don't find a way to figure out how to raise the volume on our voices, they're gonna be making all the decisions for quite some time. Meanwhile, we having the children and we are fully responsible for what they do and don't see. So as mothers, as sisters, brothers, I mean aunties, cousins, you know, female women, what do y'all think about that? And like where do you want to see it go from here? Is this okay? And what are your concerns? All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all be great.